Our ACC Network basketball triple header continues with some holiday hoops at the home of the reigning ACC champions. It's the NC State Wolfpack taking on the Rider Broncs out of the MAC. Hi, everybody. Alongside Paul Biancardi, I'm Jay Alter. Thank you so much for joining us. Paul, you've been telling us all afternoon, this game right before Christmas break is a trap game. We just saw American take Virginia down to the wire.
Yeah, this is a tough one for State. Christmas break starts tonight, and conference play is coming up. The key is not to look ahead. For NC State, they have to create some energy with some hustle plays and set the tone early.
So you had your final exams, and then you go to Allen Fieldhouse and lose the top 10 Kansas. 8 days off. Christmas break starts right after this game finishes against Rider.
And you have to remember, all 4 wins for Rider have come on the road. They're a battle-tested team, and those road wins have caught the attention of Kevin Keats and his staff.
So who has to set the tone this afternoon for the Wolfpack?
Going to go with the veteran, Dontrez Styles, the North Carolina native. He has seen his efficiency explode in the last 4 games. 15 points a game. He's shooting over 50% behind the arc. It's excellent from the mid-range as well. It seems every game right now for Styles, his confidence is growing.
And for Rider, a couple of guys you could lean on. You say TJ Weeks Jr. has to be the go-to guy.
Absolutely. He leads Rider in scoring at 13 points a game. An aggressive mindset. This guy has had 9 double-figure games in the 11 games that they've played. Loves to shoot it from deep. He's got range, accuracy, and over 60% of his shots are from the three-point line. NC State has to run him off the line. The left-hander can drain it.
Final non-conference game for both of these teams. An opportunity to go into the Christmas break with a win. Our officials, Bill Covington Jr., AJ Desai, and Tony Morrissey. We are underway in Raleigh, and it's Rider that starts with the basketball. NC State defending in white. This is a Bronx team that Paul said it, all 4 of their wins this season have come on the road. Battle-tested, a tough schedule. So they will be undaunted today against the reigning ACC champs. Shot clock already down to 4. Pull-up pop, contested look, falls off the rim, no good. They take it the Wolfpack starting 5. Guard-heavy lineup. Middlebrooks, the lone big man. And he's double-teamed, and he forces a travel. So doubling that post, paying off on the opening possession for Rider.
And Rider worked on that this morning at the shoot-around. When the ball goes into the low post, you're going to see Rider double the post, rotate from the weak side, play zone and behind. That was a good first defensive possession for Rider.
This is the Bronx starting 5. Cole McCabe, the freshman from IMG Academy, making his first collegiate start this afternoon. Alvarez picks up his dribble, finds McCabe. Trying to ignite this Rider offense that is fallen. They're on a 6-game losing streak, trying to snap that here on the road in Raleigh. That's a good start. Count it, plus the foul for TJ Weeks Jr.
Told you, TJ Weeks Jr., an aggressive mindset, wants to go to the basket. If he can't go to the basket, he's going to shoot the three-point shot. Look how low he is. He gets down, pulls up. Left-hander has really a sweet touch. That's a tough shot because he's going to his right and he's shooting it with his left. That's the guy for Rider in this game. So if you're NC State, you got to limit his touches and you got to help when he puts it on the deck. A little bit of pressure right here by Rider.
It completes the and one. They go back inside to Middlebrooks. Tough take, gets it to go.
And he was tough against Kansas, Ben Middlebrooks.
Yeah.
Big, strong, physical post, starting to shoot it a little bit from the outside, but I'll tell you what, 15 feet and in. He's got great hands and good footwork.
Yeah, 14 points and 8 rebounds at Allen Fieldhouse going against Hunter Dickinson. Ain't too bad.
They're going to see Rider work for good shots. They don't want to take quick, bad shots because that's the quickest way to lose a game.
Good look from 3. Goes begging. Zion Cruz couldn't connect.
Nice job by Rider getting back in transition defense.
And Marcus Hill takes it right to the rim. Contested, no good. Inside, McCabe, freshman, finds a wide open, no good. Ruben Rodriguez couldn't connect. Tangled up, and O'Connell steals it away. 3-on-2 for the Wolfpack up ahead, and a foul call. Our two head coaches tonight. Keys to the game, according to our coach, Paul Biancardi.
Well, number one, set the tone if you're NC State. They're trying to do that on the defensive end, but they must run, run, run. You see fast break points. That's where NC State is best on the offensive end, is scoring in transition. And if you're Ryder, you need the 3 T's, in my opinion. You got to limit your turnovers. You got to get back in defensive transition and control the tempo of the game. And also 3-point success. Ryder has to win the 3-point shooting game against NC State.
The officials are over at the monitor taking a look at if this is a goaltend or not.
Let's take a look at this. Drive to the basket. It hits the backboard. Does it get over the rim?
I don't know if that's on the way down.
Call on the floor is confirmed. Basket is good. 1 shot.
They called the basket good on the floor. They stayed with the call.
Yep. Whatever they called on the floor, I think they had to stick with, given the angle that we just saw.
Not enough evidence
right,
at
either
all.
way. So an and-one opportunity for Jaden Taylor. Part of last year's Final 14. And you thought with DJ Horn moving on, maybe Taylor would be the guy to step up, and they've yet to see it on a consistent basis 11 games into this season. Alvarez weaving through traffic.
I see the tempo by Ryder, a hard push to try to get something quick. If not, they're going to set it up, space it out, work the clock, and keep NC State on defense as long as possible until they see something that's wide open like that.
A tough take by Cruz, well defended, with a foul called on the ensuing rebound.
And that's why I think the 3 T's are so important. You have to limit your turnovers, especially the live ball turnovers. Transition defense is vital when you play NC State. And I like the way Ryder is trying to change the tempo of this game. It's not going to be straight one way. It's a little soft pressure, it's a little bit of running, and then they take their time to set up offense. Now you see Ryder slipping into his zone. Coach Baggett trying everything for this game before Christmas.
Yeah, you pull out all the Baggett tricks.
See where the double comes. This time it's straight up. Nope, they dug it out.
The middle Brooks off the mark.
Just a little dig out by Ryder. Change that shot.
Upping the tempo, coming up empty though.
They've struggled at the rim against State. It's a bigger team.
Just 1 of 7 from the floor. Middlebrooks inside. A great start to this game. He has 4 of State's 6.
Well, you see the physicality by 34 in the white. Ben Middlebrooks. The strength to put his body into the defender. Concentration to finish.
And that's where the Wolfpack have the clear advantage when you look at these teams. That Ryder doesn't have a guy like Ben Middlebrooks inside.
And most teams in the MAC conference do not. You know, Quinnipiac, Marist, St. Peter's, their post guys are 6'6".
Stolen away. O'Connell off to the races. The scoop and the score.
That's the energy that NC State needs to get the crowd into the game.
8-0 run for NC State. Timeout Ryder.
Ben Middlebrooks in the pick and roll. Screen, roll, pocket pass, bump, and finish. State up 5.
Final game before the holiday break. Holiday hoops here in Raleigh. Paul Biancardi, Jay Alter with you. NC State, an early 8-3 lead. All 8 Wolfpack points have come in the paint. Let's take a look at Ryder, Paul. Talk about a brutal non-conference schedule. They've only had 2 home non-conference games. You see UCLA, Iowa, Villanova, all on the road. But They are road warriors here again in Raleigh. Scoop to the hoop, falls for Zion Cruz to end an 8-0 Wolfpack run.
And in those 4 wins, it's been their defense, Ryder. They've held opponents to 63 points per game. They've held them to under 30% from 3, and they shot the ball at 35% in their 4 wins. So it's been the defense and a little bit of good shooting. Obviously, when you play the schools like Iowa and Villanova, the competition changes, and your defense doesn't look as good as it does against other teams. But I'll tell you what, there's a sense of toughness on this team to win on the road.
Yeah, those 4 road wins tied for the most in the country. Trying to make it 5 against NC State won't come easy. Breon pass off the window and in.
And that's going to pay off when they get conference play. Coach Baggett told us, look, we're going to be fine once we get to our conference. They got to play a lot of what we like to call money games.
And a lot of them have come during this losing streak. A Bronx team that started the season 4-2, but now has lost 6 in a row, trying to avoid a 7th straight loss against NC State.
Yeah, good contest by State on Weeks Jr. You've got to have a hand up when he shoots at 35 in the red.
Dennis Parker Jr. into the game and into the box score for 2.
Well, Dennis Parker Jr. had some really good moments last year for NC State, and then as the season goes on, you have to shorten your rotation. He didn't get a chance to play as much, has some nagging injuries, but he brings athleticism and scoring to the Wolfpack. Number 11 on the ball right now.
Called for the foul there. But Dennis Parker Jr. Still finding his footing this season. You mentioned the nagging injuries, 3 sprained ankles in 3 weeks for him.
Yeah, that one looked really confident. The catch, the swipe, the hard drive, and he squares up at the end to finish. And that's a player that Kevin Keatts has a plan for over the course of time.
He told us, Kevin Keatts, about Parker Jr. today. He's a guy that needs time at the gym, practice time. Well, 8 days off between their last game, Kansas, to now finally feeling healthy after the sprained ankle injury set him back. An opportunity to really get into a rhythm.
Yeah, some guys can not have a lot of practice time and still play well. Other guys need practice time to get their rhythm and timing.
Shot clock down to 2. The Rider comes up clutch there. Ruben Rodriguez, the sophomore, knocks it down.
That could be a great sign for Ryder because he struggled shooting the ball this year. He's still trying to find the balance of facilitating and scoring as the point guard. Ryder back into their zone defense. They have changed their defense multiple times already in the first half.
Feels like every other possession they're giving NC State a different look.
You have to keep a better team off balance. You can't give a team that's better than you or more talented than you a steady diet of one defense unless you're exceptional at that defense. Nice back cut.
TJ Weeks Jr. lines up a 3, can't connect. In perfect position for the follow, flying in Jay Alvarez to make it a 3-point game.
Love that 45-degree cut on the jump shot. Guys are being taught that right now. When the shot goes up, fly in from the 45-degree angle up in the slot, try to get the offensive rebound. Good job by Ryder.
A good look, and it's buried. Immediate answer by NC State.
Kevin Keatts worked on his zone offense for half the shoot-around this morning, knowing that Ryder had some zone defense in their package. Nice job screening the top, penetration, and kick.
And after Ryder had cut it to 3, it's back to 6-point lead for NC State. Stolen away. Brandon Huntley Hatfield hammered in a hard foul. The officials quickly come in and give the flagrant sign.
Brandon Huntley Hatfield going straight to the rack. He's going strong. Defender with his hand straight up. Let's see what the defender does. He jumps straight up. And at the end, yes, he fouls. He comes down. And Huntley Hatfield, that's a clean foul, if there's such a thing as a clean foul.
Well, the officials disagreed with you. They immediately gave the flagrant sign, so they would say it's not a clean foul.
Well, I understand that. offensive player is airborne. If it's unnecessary contact, they're going to
Huntley Hatfield at 6'10", 240 pounds.
Previous plays under review for potential flagrant foul.
A lot coming down to the floor. Hard foul, and the officials are still at the monitor. We'll step aside as the officials take a look at this foul.
The strength of the pack is a rule.
But back here at the Lenovo Center in Raleigh, where they have confirmed a flagrant one foul, excessive contact to an airborne player committed by Tyreek Ingram.
Yeah, that's what the official just told me. Excessive contact to an airborne player. Could have ended up potential serious situation, so they called the F1. Put time back on the clock. It's 2 shots and the ball out of bounds.
Well, Brandon Huntley Hatfield can't connect on the first. I think what the officiating crew was telling us in the break there was it doesn't matter that Huntley Hatfield is okay. It's good that he's okay.
Right.
We didn't know what the result was going to be when that excessive contact happens to an airborne player.
And without knowing intent, because you never know intent, you could just see that he was trying to stop him from going to the basket, but it ended up at F1. Now they go right back inside to Huntley Hatfield. Good call by Kevin Keats to get the ball back inside. I'm telling you what, Brandon Huntley Hatfield can be the X factor for NC State this year. He is talented, big, strong, and he's experienced in the game.
The Wolfpack have 12 of their 18 points coming in the paint, taking advantage of their size, and they're doubling up Ryder, largest lead of the game. Defense has been relentless. Shot clock under 5 again, and Ryder has just struggled to get any flow. Shot clock's been, feels like 5, 4, 3, all their possessions for Kevin Baggett's team.
What's going to have to happen if you're Ryder, if you can't run offense and can't back cut it, and can't screen it, you're going to have to put it on the deck and go by them.
Jaden Taylor knocks down the triple. And Kevin Baggett arguing with the officiating crew that and the officials exchanging words with Kevin Baggett. And he's been issued a technical foul. So more free throws coming for NC State. They have a flagrant foul against Ryder, and now Kevin Baggett, the head coach, called for a tee. That doesn't help you when you're already playing a team that on paper has more talent than you. You're giving them extra opportunities from the foul line.
Yeah, he might have been still upset about that F1 call. Didn't get a call down this end. NC State came down in transition, knocked down the shot. Coach Baggett trying to get a few more points in before the next possession. 2-time MAC Coach of the Year.
NC State on a 7-0 run in the last 55 seconds.
Yeah, their defense is really extended. You have to back cut it or back screen it, or eventually just put it on the deck. You cannot run offense against a team that is up chest to chest. Good cut that time. You got to cut it to loosen it up.
Shot clock down to 5 again.
And now you're in a bad shot quality situation.
Heaving a 3 way off the mark. Credit NC State's defense. They've been dialed in this first half.
And they need to. They need to take this game seriously, because it is a game, as we talked about in the open, it's somewhat of a trap game. We saw American take Virginia right down to the wire. You got Christmas break starting at 6:05 tonight. As soon as this game's over. And then you have conference play coming up. You just came off of 5 days of practice and some days off. You lost to Kansas. Probably feels like a couple of weeks ago. So a lot going on right now at this time of the year for college basketball. You have to be dialed in. And Kevin Keats was dialed in this morning at shoot-around.
He was.
He was the Grinch this morning.
Yeah, he was going hard.
Yeah, he was hard on the guys this morning from the very beginning of shoot around to the very end. Didn't see him smile.
No.
Didn't talk to us. I said, Kevin, you're like the Grinch. He goes, this game is going to be a tough game, and it is.
Yeah, he said until 6 o'clock, until this game is over, he's got to ride these guys because you want to go into that holiday break with a win, you know, and then he can really come back and focus on ACC play.
He said, look, at 6 o'clock today, one team's going to win, one team's going to lose. I know how I want to spend my Christmas with a win.
And it's a 9-0 run for Kevin Keats' team. And they've done it really. The backbone of this first half has been incredible defensive effort.
And that's what they're best at this year right now. They struggle to score at times, especially against the power conference teams. But this man-to-man defense has been stifling.
And the Rider guards of Ruben Rodriguez and Flash Burton yet to get going.
You can't go east and west. You have to go north and south.
Shot clock down to 1. Pull up pop. Cruz, nothing but the bottom of the net. Desperately needed for Rider.
Zion Cruz has been in the game for a while. He's battle tested. DePaul transfer, understands what it's like to get pressure.
He's a former ESPN 100 guy.
And I was about to get to that. 2022. So talent and experience for Zion Cruz. Nice job by our graphics department.
Oh, nice strip. Jay Alvarez digging it out. 3-on-2 for Rider. Up ahead, Cruz. Everything but the finish. Reattacks and draws the foul. So Zion Cruz will have 2 coming at the free throw line.
Watch Zion Cruz. Comes off the ball screen. Pulls up. That's a long 2. But he sees the drop coverage, so he knows he can't get to the basket. So when the defense starts to back up, that's when you pull up, take your jump shot. Good read by Cruz.
Cruz coming off a career-high 16 points 2 nights ago against Penn. You know, this is a team that needs a player to step up and be that consistent scorer. I would think, just based off the pedigree, Cruz would be the guy.
Yeah, it's Cruz. It's TJ Weeks Jr. Came from UMass. Outside shooter. I think those 2 guys for Rider are going to carry the bulk of the offensive end this season for Rider. And they need to score 25 to 30 points in this game combined.
Parker Jr. almost ripped the rim off. Creativity. Oh, so crafty. Marcus Hill, acrobatic.
And we know Marcus Hill can get to the cup. Only shoot 28% from 3 right now. Oh, nice steal.
Middlebrooks using the long arms. And he's fouled on his way to the rim.
We've talked about the NC State man-to-man defense, and they are overplaying every pass. They are pressuring every time Rider puts the ball on the deck. Rider has to loosen that up with a back cut or a back screen. Ben Middlebrooks was denying at the top of the key and got that steal.
And we are more than 10 minutes into this game, and I can't think of one single Rider possession that has come easy.
No, when they get into the paint, they have a difficult time scoring against the size and strength of NC State. They've been down to 5 seconds or less in shot clock situations. This is when you know your team is dialed in. They're locked in is how they play defense. It's the energy that they bring to the game and the multiple efforts they possess on the defensive end. Right now, if you're Kevin Keats, you're extremely happy with the defense and the focus.
Andre Young into the game, has it here. Off to the freshman McCabe. TJ Weeks Jr. And they can't get anything going right now. The Bronx, another turnover. That's 6 in this first half.
Every time Rider tries to make a pass, it's pressure.
Hill splits 2, counted, plus the foul. Marcus Hill, the Bowling Green transfer, starting to heat up.
And that's where NC State is best on offense. This is fast break basketball. They inbound it, they push it, 1 or 2 dribbles. Hill right to the cup. Marcus Hill splits 2, great concentration to finish. Seems like Ryder is getting worn down a little bit in the first half. But the fast break opportunities for NC State, that's their bread and butter. That is their bread and butter on the offensive end, getting points from turnovers and getting fast break opportunities when teams miss.
The Wolfpack on a 15-2 run to blow this game wide open in the first half. And the defense continues, suffocating up ahead. NC State turning defense into offense. Bryce Hurd, the freshman, with an easy finish. And over the last 4 minutes, NC State has taken this game over, a 17-2 run.
Try to get to the basket if you're Ryder. Create contact, get to the free throw line. Do something aggressive against that aggressive defense. Don't settle for shots. Take a charge if you have to.
Shot clock down to 3, and it's another turnover. Well, NC State dialed in defensively. And it is all Wolfpack in this first half. A 32-11 lead for NC State. NC State all over Ryder in this first half, and they've done it with defense.
Well, you see the strip and the steal right here, the block by Middlebrooks, the push by O'Connell. Great defense by Middlebrooks with denial. They're in their stance. They have great vision on the ball, active hands. And this team converts as well as any team in the ACC from defense to offense.
And they are shooting 75% from the floor, 12 makes off 10 assists. Good defense, good offense, everything you would want to see headed into the Christmas break if you're an NC State fan. Good look here. Falls off the rim, no good from Marcus Hill.
NC State, when it comes to defense behind the arc, opponents are only getting 29%. That's top 10% in the nation. Kevin Keats makes it an emphasis to run guys off the three-point line. Right now, Ryder 0 for 5 from distance. And, you know, that's one of the recipes for the upset. Double-figure threes. If you can get near double-figure threes or over it, you got a great chance to pull off the upset, especially on the road. Right now, they can't get a clean look.
They might not even get 10 three-point attempts the way NC State's been running them off the line. Contested deep two, no good. Ryder has gone 3 minutes and 30 seconds without scoring. And over the last 6 minutes, NC State on a 20-2 run.
Dennis Parker Jr., who's in the game, gives them some good energy and length on the defensive end. Pressure by Marcus Hill and Michael O'Connell on the ball has been terrific in the first half.
There's Tyreek Ingram. He's got the one ACC body on the team, originally recruited to Wake Forest. He draws the foul.
Now you can get that if you're Ryder because the defense is so extended by NC State. It's going to allow a post feed. Well, Ben Middlebrooks has his hand in there, but Ingram almost with a extended arm.
Yeah, after the foul was called.
Yeah, that could have been a dead ball technical foul. Looks like he's bleeding a little bit under his chin.
If Kevin Keats gets the officiating crew to at least take a look at it. So while they look at that, we remind you that ACC play picks up on New Year's Eve right here on ACC Network. Notre Dame take it on Georgia Tech. And then Cooper, Flag, and Duke hosting Virginia Tech at Cameron Indoor.
And the officials are going to review that last play. And when you think about how they're calling college basketball, it's above the head, there's contact, the ball's dead. And I think this could be an F1. So. I really do. Ball's dead right there. Now, does his momentum carry his arm into Ben Middlebrooks. Now, does Ben Middlebrooks, is he in the cylinder of Ingram as well? And that has to be determined by the official. If you stick your head inside the cylinder of a play and an offensive player turns, you know, that's going to be a no call, or it's going to be a call on the defense. But I think the fact that the whistle blew, contact happened after, or right then and there, could upgrade this to an F1.
And remember, Tyreek Ingram was called for the flagrant foul earlier this half, so if this is his second flagrant, he's out of this game.
And that would hurt Ryder, especially on the glass and defensive post position. Is there one offensive threat inside? Just the fact that the officials are still discussing this, that tells me it may be upgraded.
Everything has gone against Kevin Baggett so far here in Raleigh, as he awaits the call. Trying to read the reaction there. That's more of an animated reaction.
After review, we have a common foul against 34 White, followed by dead ball contact technical on 33 Red. 2 shots for NC State. Ball under the end line. 30-second shot clock. Reset.
So that is a very important phrasing of that. Dead ball technical is not a flagrant. So Tyreek Ingram stays in this game. It is his third foul, though.
Yes, the foul on Middlebrooks first. You got the foul on Middlebrooks right there. There's the foul. Dead ball. Technical foul on Ingram.
But not a flagrant.
Not a flagrant.
O'Connell still gets 2 from the line. No, it's interesting with Michael O'Connell. Nice to see him knock both of those down. Before those shots, only shooting 52% from the foul line. His career average, he's 72%.
He has been struggling, Michael O'Connell, when it comes to shooting free throws and making shots. But you're right, Jay. The phrase of dead ball technical foul, which means they didn't upgrade it to something where they thought it was excessive or unnecessary. Thought that was a good piece of officiating.
A 22-2 run for NC State. This game is blown wide open.
Yeah, you just want to manage this if you're Ryder right now. Can you get some stops, consecutive stops, and turn those into scores? A good defense right here. Shot clock's at 5. That's been maybe their best possession defensively in a while for Ryder.
Well, the Wolfpack shooting 70% from the floor. That way off the mark from Dennis Parker Jr.
Now you got to convert.
And Rodriguez went right to the rim, up against some trees, came up empty.
You make the stop, you get the push. Took it strong to the rack. Now you have possession. Baseline out of bounds.
Now they are waiting for Ruben Rodriguez to break out. The sophomore who's yet to deliver consistently in the scoring department. Something he did very well at the high school level. He's the all-time leading scorer at Reading High School, and that's produced some pros.
Some great ones.
Lonnie Walker, Danielle Marshall, Stu Jackson, to name a few.
And Coach Baggett's waiting for all those points to transfer to the collegiate level. You know, it takes time. Everybody wants freshmen, and I know I cover that game for ESPN in the recruiting circles, but not all freshmen can impact basketball. Sometimes it's your sophomore year when you start to grow, or your junior year when you break out. But it's going to happen for Rodriguez.
But nobody has the patience anymore. That's the problem. both the players and the coaches. Shot clock down to 5 again.
Athletic directors, too.
Good point.
Come on now, what about fans?
Yeah, they've got the least patience of anybody. Parker Jr. splits 2. And a foul called.
Yeah, so golden opportunity for Ryder. Think about it. They got to stop. Shot clock under 5. Transition couldn't finish. Baseline out of bounds. Couldn't get to the basket.
I don't know if there's been anything golden in this first half for Kevin Baggett and his team.
It's all a learning experience. Look, what really matters for them is what they do in conference play. But you're trying to build habits right now to take into the season. And you want to measure up to see how you get exposed. You get exposed in games like this, right? You get exposed. Something gets exposed that you have to address when it comes conference time, because other teams are going to try to expose the same thing against you.
And Baggett told us it's as simple as the team needing the confidence back. You start the season 4-2. You get 4 wins on the road in your first 6 games. You feel really good about your group, and then some tougher competition at Villanova, at Iowa. 6-game losing streak. Now you got to go on the road and play the reigning ACC champions at their place.
I'll tell you what, they came out with good intensity, Ryder, but it was the intensity of NC State was greater, and it took Ryder out of their offense, and NC State has scored a bunch of points from their defense, and from there it just snowballed.
Whereas Ryder's in a scoring drought of more than 5 minutes, Rodriguez ends the drought.
And they're making tough shots, because everything NC State is doing defensively is not allowing Ryder into the paint.
That's a great point. Only 13 points, but all 13 have not come easy.
You're sweating on the sideline if you're Ryder, that the ball goes in.
Contact, and the bucket. Marcus Hill. Impressive performance from the Bowling Green transfer this first half.
Yeah, well, Marcus Hill is a downhill guy. He catches that basketball. How about the jump stop? Body control and focus to finish. It was a big gap. He saw it. This guy scored a lot of points at Bowling Green, and the other MAC out in the Midwest. And he gives Kevin Keats a paint toucher, a guy who will be aggressive when the offense bogs down. His jump shot's got to come around, though. Only 28% from distance. So he's got to look to catch and shoot a little bit more versus catch and drive.
Hill leads all scorers with 8. But he's had to play some big minutes, maybe more minutes than they anticipated when they brought him in because of the injury to Mike James.
Yeah, Mike James is another former ESPN Top 100 prospect. Really talented young man out of the state of Florida. 6'6", aggressive and strong. He would have been a great addition this year for Kevin Keats. That injury is probably going to keep him out till next season.
Yeah, we haven't had official word on that, but it seems to be lingering. It was originally reported just 3 to 4 weeks, and he is still on the sideline as we head to the new year. And yet Kevin Keats told us Mike James is still the leader of this team. He said, who's your leader? Who's your most vocal guy? He said, Mike James.
And he may be the hardest worker when he gets to practice. This guy here plays all out all the time. Caught in between a guard and a small forward. Could be their best defender. Offensively, he makes open shots, but he's that aggressive post-up type of guy. He brings great energy to practice and to the defensive end.
And there's really nothing you can do when you look at a guy and say, how you feeling? And he goes, something's still not right. I'm not where I need to be before I get on the floor.
And you can't rush injuries, right? You cannot rush an injury. It's better to come back 2 weeks too late than 1 day too early. Because if you come back early, you may have to go through the whole process again. This is the guy right here for NC State, in my opinion. Huntley Hatfield.
Kicks it out. Taylor knocks down a triple.
How about the pass? Big time shot, but Huntley Hatfield in the middle at 6'9" with the awareness to make the pass to the corner. I think he is such an X factor for NC State.
Well, everything going down for the Wolfpack.
Huntley Hatfield can't get his. He's got 3 on him. Beautiful kick to the corner. Jaden Taylor with a triple.
Yep, wait for
How about that UConn game last night?
Well, a week from today, next Sunday, we'll have 4 consecutive weeks of Sunday women's basketball quadruple headers right here on ACC Network. Our first lineup, you don't want to miss it. Hannah Hidalgo at Notre Dame taking on Virginia, tipping things off at noon Eastern, and then 3 games to follow. All-day basketball Sundays, ACC Women's Hoops right here on ACC Network. How about the ACC 6 ranked teams on the women's side? It's going to be a fun watch as we get ready for some conference action.
Wes Moore's NC State Wolfpack just beat James Madison. 12-game winning streak right now for the women's team.
They're one of those 6 ranked teams.
Yes.
Coming off a Final Four appearance of their own.
What a game last night between USC and UConn on the women's side. Both of these teams could use some of those shooters.
Absolutely. Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins. There is so much talent. I'll tell you what.
That game was so exciting last night. It went up and down. Shots, execution, intensity. And USC leaves Stores, Connecticut with a win.
I think you could see those 2 teams meet again in March.
Absolutely. Somewhere Elite 8, Final Four-ish.
So what's most impressive about NC State in this first half is they're up 42-16, and Dontrez Styles, one of their leading scorers, has 0.
Well, they haven't needed them in this game. I'll tell you the stat, even though the stats right now are blown out of proportion. When I see the 11 assists on 14 field goals, that's what I'm looking for NC State. More ball movement, more assists. They did that against Texas. They had 15 assists on 24 made field goals. That's 60% assist rate. But a lot of games they haven't had the assist numbers that they needed, especially against Purdue and Kansas.
When you were coaching, what was your target?
Oh, you want to hit at least 50%.
50%.
Yeah, if you can. That's a high number to hit, but that's the number I want to hit.
Well, you have Michael O'Connell, who really sets the tone in that department, one of the best in the country, assist-to-turnover ratio. And he has 4 assists tonight and no turnovers. So this is proving the point perfectly.
A little stat on Michael O'Connell. When he has 3 assists or more during his time here at NC State, they're like 26-5. When he has 3 assists or more.
I felt like when he got inserted into the starting lineup last season, NC State hit that different gear. Now, did anybody think they were going to win the ACC and go to a Final Four? No, but O'Connell definitely raised the level of the players around him.
When you share the ball, everybody gets involved. The guys want to touch the basketball. They don't want to watch somebody else dribble it all the time. And Michael O'Connell is a great passer, very unselfish. He's an excellent decision maker. Nice tank.
Marcus Hill continues to fill it up. He's got 10 in his first half.
When I watch him, I think about a guy who's at the top of a hill, going downhill, as we like to say, with the ball in his hands. He just continues to try to find his way to the basket.
Marcus downhill.
I'm telling you, he can promote that. NIL.
A deep 3, which is all Riders had to settle for in this first half. A lot of contested looks from far away from the basket. Alvarez trying to get something in transition.
Got to get it out for a quick 3 now. That's a good look.
Weeks Jr. knocks it down. Best look of the night. And TJ Weeks Jr. converts.
It's just so hard for Ryder to score inside against the physicality and size of NC State. So what do? You throw it out and you make the extra pass.
O'Connell pull up pop. Too much on it. And a foul called on the ensuing rebound.
Watch Ryder right here. They can't score, they get it out, but then they make the extra pass because they recognize that TJ Weeks Jr. is standing in the left slot all by himself. No player can move faster than the basketball on a closeout. That's good ball reversal by Ryder.
TJ Weeks Jr., a great story for how Ryder recruited him. 6th-year senior, and have been playing college basketball for a long time now. All the way back in 2019, he was a freshman for UMass. hit a career-high 6 threes against Ryder. So when they saw his name in the portal, they're like, hold on a second. We know that guy.
Yeah, his dad, Tyrone, played at UMass in the 90s.
You play, your BC teams play against
BC teams played against UMass. They had Dana Dingle, Dante Bright, Marcus Canby, Jeff Arnold, who's on staff for Ryder. Had a great relationship with Tyrone Weeks. Then the transfer happened. They got to set some hard screens, Ryder. Like, really screen hard, even if you got to take a foul.
Weeks down the lane, off the window, no good. His brother, Tyreek Weeks, digs it out, kept the possession alive, but comes up empty. Here he goes. Steam, Marcus downhill, passes out, and it's Breon Pass who connects on a triple, and NC State has put up 50 in this first half.
How many?
5-0.
Pass is a more than capable shooter. He comes off the bench for State. Just gives them solid minutes.
Well, Breon Pass, he's a unicorn in today's college basketball. He's going to graduate in the spring. 4 years at one school. Up ahead, Huntley Hatfield running the floor.
Coach Kevin Baggett looking down his bench, looking for some answers. You know, it became a little bit of a toughness factor as well in the first half. NC State imposed their toughness on Ryder. Ryder really hasn't responded to that toughness on the offensive end by being aggressive. There you go. There you go. That's how you score against pressure. You either back screen it, back cut it, or attack it. But you can't dribble the ball east and west. You have to go north and south.
Well, the bright spots of possession like that one, few and far between in this first half for Ryder. 10 seconds left in it. Cross-court pass. No good from Marcus Hill. And NC State goes into halftime with a near 30-point lead. This is the most points scored in a half this season for Kevin Keith's team. And they are well on their way to a win headed in to the Christmas break. ACC Network studio coming up. Michael Carter-Williams making his ESPN debut in studio. MCW in the house. He'll be joined by Justin Walters at the break.
Salem, Mass. Michael Carter-Williams.
Now, festive mood in full swing in Raleigh. Christmas has come early in the form of a 52-23 halftime lead for the reigning ACC champions. Paul Biancardi, Jay Alter with you. And even though they put up 52, Paul, how about the defensive performance in that first half?
That's been most impressive to me is the defense, the activity, the strip, the steal, and the push by Michael O'Connell. This team came out to create energy with hustle plays like that by Ben Middlebrooks. Their defense created a lot of fast break opportunities in this game. Very unselfish. Had a ton of assists. Everything was clicking on both ends for NC State.
And how about that? 14 of the 17 made shots assisted at NC State with a 14 assists to just 3 turnover ratio. That's nearly 5-1.
And so what Kevin Keats was talking about in the locker room, can we sustain this? We have to build habits going into the ACC conference play. You have a big lead against an ACC opponent and you relax, you could lose that game. So what you want to try to do right now is 0-0, beat this team for 20 minutes, and go on Christmas break.
I was going to say easier said than done when you know what's coming your way, which is some days at home and a Christmas break for a team that's,
there you go,
red hot.
Another assisted basket. See, the ball is moving for NC State this afternoon. When they're not in transition, not a lot of guys over dribbling. The ball's not sticking. Quick pass that time. Taylor with the knockdown.
Yeah, he leads all scorers with 14.
See, these are highlights that you can show when you get into ACC play. Fellas, look at the way we played in this game. Look at the way the ball moved.
O'Connell gave up the 3 and then draws the foul.
I know this score is big right now, but Kevin Keats this morning at shoot-around, he was concerned about this game. Knowing that it was Christmas break, conference coming up, 7-day layoff, you can come out flat or you can come out and dominate.
But I think the way we saw Keats attack his shoot-around today is a big reason why NC State has come out and played so well.
He had that scowl on his face. Look at him. He's locked in right now because he's saying to himself, we've got to sustain intensity. We've got to continue to build habits on both ends of the floor. And he's looking for guys that are going to continue this energy level. Just play the exact same way. You play the game. You don't play the score.
Well, the defensive intensity is picked up right where it left off. Everything coming contested. Shot clock down to 7. Ryder has taken the shot clock down to single digits, it seems like, on every possession.
Nice.
Jay Alvarez knocks down that jumper.
You know, hard penetration can beat pressure defense, but you got to get low. You got to be strong with the ball. That time, a little simple penetration, short jump shot. Let's see if Ryder can get some stops.
They get one here. Zion Cruz rips down the rebound.
And for Ryder, it's okay. Can we get a couple of stops, couple of scores? Can we get some confidence going? Can we get momentum going in this game? That's a foul on O'Connell.
So it'll stay Ryder ball underneath their hoop. O'Connell's first foul of the afternoon.
And look what happened before our game with Virginia and American.
Right.
American took UVA right down to the last 2 minutes.
Well, we've been together since 9 o'clock this morning at Ryder shoot around, and the first thing you said to me, and you probably said it a dozen times since, as a coach, you hate this game when everybody knows they're going home as soon as the final whistle blows.
Yeah, everybody's thinking about what flight, how they're going to get home, who they're going to visit, who they have to call, what Christmas presents do I still have to buy? And then before you know it, you got to come back 4 days later. So these guys have been together for a couple of months right now between practice and games.
But Ryder is off until January 5th. And Kevin Baggett said, regardless of how this game goes today, we need a break. We've been on the road with each other all season long. We've only had 2 home games in the non-conference. Some time apart could do this Ryder team some good.
Yeah, sometimes in a good relationship, it's good to spend some time apart. You have the non-conference, you have the conference schedule, and then for Ryder, the most important 3 days of the year come in March at their conference tournament. So it truly is a long season, college basketball. And he understands that whatever happens today doesn't matter in terms of how they're going to play in the MAC. And they have a legitimate chance to be near the top of that. You get a good seed going into the tournament, as we saw with NC State.
Anything can happen.
Teams get hot, they get confident, they get on a run.
Yeah, for Ryder, no doubt about it. That's a one-bid league. You've got to get hot at the right time. For NC State, they're looking to play their way into an advantageous spot in the ACC. And we were talking about the conference earlier, Paul. Feels like, okay, Duke has separated themselves as the top team. After that, 2 through 10, 11, up for grabs.
2 through 17.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you think about the ACC, Duke should be a lock for the #1 spot, okay? Unless injury happens or they fall apart. After that, tell me who's #2. Because I think it's Clemson. When it's all said and done at the end of the season, I think they're the second best team in the conference. They give it to you on both ends. Pittsburgh always,
I was going to say
Pittsburgh always undersells, over-delivers.
The Clemson picked up a good win against Wake Forest. I'll give you my dark horse. SMU, they're at the bottom of the screen.
Ooh, they crushed my Eagles. I'll tell you what, they have 2 experienced guys. Boopie Miller, who transferred over from Wake Forest. He is quick and explosive. Matt Cross has been in college basketball a long time. Together, they scored 38 points combined in that win against BC. How about Louisville, the job that Pat Kelsey is doing? They could be the sleeper this year in the ACC.
It's wide open. After Duke, it is wide open.
I wouldn't be shocked if Louisville can get in that middle of the ACC this year. Again, I like Pitt. I like Clemson. I don't trust North Carolina just yet. They're like a roller coaster right now. And I don't like rides.
Ryder, timeout. We'll have a lot more ACC talk to come. Now, right next to NC State's campus, the Poland Park Holiday Express. This will get you in the Christmas spirit. Happy holidays from everybody at ACC Network and ESPN to you. Paul Biancardi, Jay Alter with you. Paul, what's on
I need to drive by that tonight on the way home.
You should.
That is really beautiful.
That's beautiful. I'm sure a lot of foot traffic this weekend as people are getting ready for Christmas Day, just a few days away. Oh, great steal. Michael O'Connell, the active hands.
Out of the timeout, Kevin Keats came out with full court pressure.
Yeah, you'd think this game's 0-0.
See, he's keeping his foot on the gas pedal hard, and he's trying to let his guys know, hey, fellas, we're not sitting back in the zone. We're doing what we do and what we're going to do this year in the ACC. And we're going to be an aggressive defensive team all season long. That's where they hang their hat on the defensive end.
What is on Kevin Keats' Christmas wish list?
More wins.
How do you get those more wins?
All right, first of all, he needs better field goal percentage. They got to shoot the ball much better than they do. More assists. So he's got an early Christmas present right now with more assists, because there was a team that did get a lot of assists during the season and better starts. They didn't start well against Purdue. They didn't start well against Texas. They were down 9-0, down 15-0 against Kansas. Now, I know those are power conference top 20 teams. But again, you're developing habits, and they got off to a great start here against Ryder.
And as you said, great start, foot on the gas. And in terms of assists, 15 of NC State's 18 made baskets have been assisted.
Yeah, they have to shoot the ball better. I mean, first half they were 4 for 8 from 3. That's great, but they're 31% from 3 coming into this game. They'll have some practice time before they have Virginia on December 31st.
Shot clock under 5 once again for Ryder. And Jay Alvarez connects on a triple.
Ryder with a little bit of juice right now. A little bit of bounce on their defensive stance after that shot. Sometimes when you score the ball, it can really energize your defense.
Middlebrooks double teamed. Here's O'Connell. Middlebrook steps out for a 3 and knocks it down. Nothing but the bottom of the net for the big man Ben Middlebrooks.
That was inside-out basketball at its best by NC State. That is a clip. Kevin Keats has to show his team when they come back from break.
Alvarez from the same spot comes up empty that time. NC State pushing it like they've done all afternoon long. Jaden Taylor an easy 2 at the rim.
And Ryder doesn't look tired to me, but they look like they're ready to get knocked out, or they've been knocked out and they're trying to get back up on the mat. Like, I don't see fatigue. I just see a team that just doesn't believe in themselves right now. And it happened about the 5-minute mark, or the 15-minute mark, excuse me, in the first half.
Losing breeds that, and Ryder in the midst of a losing streak, and NC State has been relentless.
Best possession of the night offensively. Middlebrooks doubled, throws it out. They skip it one more, penetration. Middlebrooks spots up, knocked down 3. That was gorgeous inside-out basketball by the Wolfpack.
Been a good home crowd here at the Lenovo Center, reigning ACC champions NC State. Their final home game in the year 2024. We've been impressed by this crowd. They've been active, loud, plenty to cheer for, as the Wolfpack have been outstanding.
I mean, it's Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock. A lot of people are Celebrating Christmas early, getting the house ready, decorating the tree, buying Christmas presents.
I was going to say last-minute shopping, probably.
Yes, but I tell you what, this crowd got here early, too. We've got students behind us standing up. My daughter, Alyssa, was a student here at NC State. Now she's in the working world, but she would be right behind us where we are, standing up, supporting the Wolfpack. I mean, I'll tell you what, they got great fans here.
Do you have her Christmas present all taken care of?
I give her Christmas just about every month. She's on a permanent Christmas plan.
Well, NC State has delivered an early gift here. Oh, and they almost added an alley-oop. Dennis Parker Jr., everything but the finish. He was fouled on his way to the rim. Explosive player, the sophomore.
Yeah, they screened the middle of the zone. They threw it upstairs, try to get the lob, because the back line is really flat for Ryder. That means they're backed up, so there's room to throw a lob play. This kid got hops now. Dennis Parker Jr., he's got a lot of hops. He's got vertical burst. He's got lateral quickness. He's got a good second jump. I'll tell you, what he does this offseason will decide what type of player he's going to be next year. Sophomore year, he's still trying to figure it out, but the junior year, he should establish himself on this team. And NC State loses, when we talk about 7 guys.
Their top 7 scorers are out of eligibility.
Yeah, so if I'm Dennis Parker Jr., I'm going crazy this summer in the offseason.
Everything but the finish for Ingram. That rolls around, it does not drop. Trey Parker into the game. The freshman has it here, 5 in white. Talented freshman class. Step back for Parker, no good. And the other Parker in perfect position to clean up the spill.
If they don't run plays for you, then you go get the ball off the glass.
Yep.
It's a good opportunity right there by Parker Jr. Oh, nice drive.
Low by, and it rolls in. Ruben Rodriguez with a nice take.
So if you're Kevin Baggett, you're looking for your team not to quit, not to give up. You know the score, but you can work on things. You can work on defensive principles. You can work on your zone. You can work on blocking out. You can almost treat this like a practice. That's what I would do at this point. I would start working on things and say, look, forget the score. Let's work on A, B, and C right now.
But Dennis Parker Jr., back-to-back offensive rebounds that he's cashed in on. Wolfpack forced a turnover. You know, I was speaking with Michael O'Connell after the shoot-around today, and he said this team, compared to last year's ACC championship team, does have more depth. So last year, obviously, DJ Horn and DJ Burns, he said, look, we don't have guys that can score 20 every game like the 2 DJs, but you've seen Kevin Keats rotate some quality depth into this game.
It's going to be a balanced attack this year. They don't have a go-to guy, as you just mentioned. I think Dontrez Styles, who has not, been a factor in this game, he hasn't needed to be, but I think he can be one of the go-to guys for State.
Breon pass, a deep 3. Everything falling for the Wolfpack.
But you're right, NC State is going to score with balance this year. They'll have 3 or 4 guys in double figures. If Brandon Huntley Hadfield can really turn it on for State, that will give them another weapon, not only on the inside, but he can face up and knock down shots as that small ball 5-man.
Alvarez has been a bright spot for Ryder. He's got 9.
Yeah, I think he gives NC State some upside. He can practice hard. He came from Louisville. It's an adjustment. They had a couple of bad seasons. He's got to understand what it takes to succeed at this level.
Parker Jr. lines up a dribble. Couldn't connect. Ricochets off TJ Weeks Jr. and it leads to 2. It's like a volleyball spike off TJ Weeks Jr. and that's the way it's gone for NC State. Everything going their way. Jaden Taylor up to 16. Paul, you coached a long time. Sometimes it's just not your day. That's what it's been for Ryder.
And they've been overmatched physically in this game. And again, the intensity level by NC State went to another level early in this game, and they needed to set that tone to establish themselves in this game. Wolfpack have gotten whatever they want in this game. How about that skip pass? 3-on pass. Makes a triple. Everything going down for the Wolfpack.
Final Four for the first time in 40 years, and then the women's basketball team made the Final Four as well. The baseball team goes to the College World Series, just one of 3 schools for all that to happen in the same calendar year. We were talking with Kevin Keats, the key pieces to that Final Four run. Where are they now? DJ Burns in South Korea, DJ Horn in Germany, Mo Diarra in France, Casey Morsell calling the digital games right here in Raleigh. And DJ Burns, he wanted to come home for the holidays, but he has become so popular in South Korea. He plays for the Sky Gunners over there, and they said, no, he's in demand. He's got appearances that he's got to make in South Korea. So he's won the fans over in South Korea like he won the fans here in Raleigh.
And think about his journey for a minute. Out of high school, a top 100 prospect, went to Tennessee, decided to transfer to Winthrop, led them to a Big South championship. He was the Big South Player of the Year. Did all he could do at Winthrop and said, you know what, I want to try to play my best against the best in the ACC, and he did so. And City of Raleigh just fell in love with DJ Burns. I mean, you just love him. Like, he's a big teddy bear. He's always smiling. He was easy to play with because he was a great passer. And down the stretch in those 9 elimination games that NC State played and won, I mean, DJ Burns was the go-to guy with DJ Horn.
Yeah, and his 2024 comes to a close as being the final home game here in Raleigh. That 2024 is going to hang here forever.
I just think about what they did. I've won 2 conference championships, one in the Big Ten, one in the Big East. I've been to the Final Four, I've been to the Elite Eight, but never in the same year winning the conference championship and getting to an Elite Eight or a Final Four. It's incredibly special to win both. Usually when you win your conference tournament, you run out of gas and you have no emotion left. It's like being at Space Mountain at Disney, okay? It's like, it's a high-speed journey.
I didn't know where you were going with that.
No, when you play in your conference tournament, think about, have you ever been on Space Mountain at Disney?
Yes.
Okay. Twists, turns, dark, light, high speed, and that's what conference championship games are like. You just have no idea of how much emotion you have to consume to play those games and win those games. Then in the NCAA tournament, it's a whole different game because it's about matchups, and then it's about, chemistry at that point.
Yeah, that 9-game run will be remembered and celebrated forever. 5 in a row to win the ACC, and then 4 in a row to the Final Four. And this is a fan base with big expectations, but Kevin Keats delivered. And there was a lot of negativity thrown his way prior to that run. But starting with those 5 magical days to win the ACC championship and then the Final Four, he has come through, and that 2024 run will be remembered forever.
And before those 5 wins, they had a 4-game losing streak going into the ACC tournament.
Came out of nowhere.
And you said it, the fans were restless. There were rumors that he may lose his job.
They were ready to drive him to the airport.
But the guys in the locker room didn't care. Yep. He didn't care because you know what he did? He did his job, as Bill Belichick always says, who's, by the way, down the street right now at North Carolina coaching football.
Yeah, what do you think of that hire?
Oh, I love that hire. I'm a Patriots fan, #1, so I love the hire, but they're going to use their NIL money that they can generate. They'll get the players, and Bill will do an outstanding job coaching. He has the ability to recruit players because they have a budget. Obviously, they have a budget for NIL, or they wouldn't hire Bill Belichick. He wouldn't have taken the job if there wasn't a commitment of resources.
Wolfpack fans would want me to point out that they have had the Tar Heels number in recent seasons. And I loved what their quarterback, C.J. Bailey, had to say, which was, oh, they hired Bill Belichick. That's okay. We'll beat him, too.
Hey, but the fans of NC State, I mean, they're tremendous fans. They're so passionate about their teams. But when it comes to basketball, they were living in the past to some degree. They were always talking about what? Jim Valvano, the 83 team. Now they're going to talk about the 2024 team and Kevin Keats. So they need to understand and appreciate what he did for this program, because, as I mentioned, you see the guys on the bench in the red shirts and the white shirts, they're the only group that believed in what they could accomplish. And that's the power of a team. That's the power of buy-in.
Yeah, as the calendar turns to 2025, just wanted to make sure that, one final time we got the 2024 year, not just with the men's team, but the women's team going to the Final Four and the baseball team going to the College World Series. There's just not many programs, athletic departments in the country that have had a year like that. In fact, there's only been 3. Texas in 2003 and Louisville in 2013. Only the 3rd time it's happened ever.
So I have 2 daughters. One went to NC State, and the other one went to Texas. So they're part of history. Yeah, about Texas and NC. So my tuition money was well spent.
Exactly. O'Connell fouled shooting 3. He'll get 3 at the line when we come back, as the Wolfpack well on their way to a Christmas break victory.
Class of 2030 right there.
Albie and Cardi.
I'm on them.
Jay Alter with you. How many years in advance do you work the ESPN 100? You've put it together every year since what year?
I've been doing it since 2010.
Since 2010, the top 100 high school recruits in the class, the ESPN 100 put together by yourself. How many years in advance? Like, what are you working on all the way till 20 what right now?
Well, you identify the best freshmen in the country, then you start to rank the sophomores. Only 25 sophomores, but we have a database list of hundreds of players in each class. And by the time they're seniors, we look for the best 100. We also do top 50 by position. So we have a list of 250 guys on the ESPN website by position: point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center.
Who's been a guy that you kind of uncovered before maybe you got all the big offers and then went on to great things?
Tell you what, one guy I can think about, his name was Kyle Guy.
Yeah.
At Virginia. I saw him in the Midwest, and he had Ball State, he had some other mid-major schools, and I said, son, you're going to be a high major player. Virginia jumped in, they got the commitment, and
national champion.
Yeah. He was somebody that not a lot of people really were going after hard, and he had a great career for Tony Bennett.
And NC State under Kevin Keats has done a nice job piling up the ESPN 100 commitments.
Yes, there's a freshman on this team, Paul McNeil, who's going to be a star, I believe, here at NC State. 6'5" shooting guard. He's got great elevation. There he is right there, Paul McNeil Jr. He can light it up. I mean, he's got to learn how to play with teammates. He's got to learn pace. He's got to learn execution, defensive principles, but all the talent is there.
Well, every program in the country, I imagine, is balancing what you do with the transfer portal versus high school recruiting. It used to be all attention on high school recruiting, and now maybe an overcorrection to recruiting the portal. So I'm curious what you've seen. Kevin Keats, I think, has done a nice job still recruiting both. He'll bring in a good transfer, but he's piled up a bunch of good freshman classes in a row as well.
You always want good high school talent. When you look at the top 100, 90% of them are committed already. Why? Because coaches want to make sure they have talent coming in next season. Oh, missed a layup. You think about this. What do coaches spend the most time on and money? Recruiting. So you need a healthy blend of freshmen coming in players coming back. And then, yes, you got to go out to the portal and get the right guys. You have to evaluate the portal just like you evaluate high school players. It's so important. Look what NC State did last year, where they brought in all those players. But Kevin Keats made sure that he could coach those guys. They fit the culture of this program, and they had the talent to win. And boy, did they win big.
Styles been quiet, couldn't connect there. It's interesting. Kevin Keats has his starting 5 out there, despite this game being well in hand with under 6 minutes to play.
Yeah, I think at the 4-minute timeout, we'll start to change the lineup.
But he's still riding these guys like he rode them in shooter.
He's still standing up coaching. And that's a guy who's locked in. This fan base has a wonderful head coach. So relatable, understands his players. Great desire to win. He's brought greatness to NC State.
Timeout, Kevin Baggett after the Rider make.
Timeout, Rider.
We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Eastern time, Mark Packer, ACC PM crew right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. And they'll be shifting to conference play talk. Certainly come the new year, football in the rearview mirror, and it'll be all hoops for the ACC PM crew.
Carlos Boozer, part of that team. ACC Network, had a chance to see his 2 sons play this week.
He's got a couple of really talented boys, right?
They're studs. Cameron Boozer, number 2 player in the entire country. Caden Boozer, top 20 prospect, both going to guess where?
Duke.
Very good guess. Duke with the number 1 recruiting class for next year as well. They had it this year.
So it's interesting, Paul, you mentioned it at halftime, even though NC State had a commanding lead, that both coaches will say it's 0-0. Let's see what we can do in the second half. Well, the score is 27-26, NC State. Oh, you mentioned Duke, and our crew finds the one Duke fan brave enough to wear that sweatshirt in the Lenovo Center.
Very courageous young man to wear that. But now when you mention Duke, NC State says we beat you in the ACC tournament, and we beat you to go to the Final Four.
That had to feel sweet.
It does, but look, one thing about NC State and all the other teams in the conference, you don't want to try to be like Duke and Carolina. You want to beat them, not be like them, because it's hard to be like them with their history and tradition. But you can absolutely beat them in games, and that's what you have to do. You know, you don't want to compare yourself to somebody else. You just want to be who you are, and Kevin Keats has brought great identity to NC State. He's done it his way.
So the way they defend,
yes.
Although that little too much intensity, foul called on the freshman Bryce Hurd.
But when I think about NC State basketball, think about fast break basketball, turnover margin every year, low turnover team. They defend the three-point shot exceptionally well. So there's an identity each and every season, no matter what the roster says.
And that becomes so important with how much turnover you're seeing year in and year out.
Well, Kevin coached at Hargrave Military Academy, prep school. And that's where he cut his teeth in the game. You have to have a new team every year. You recruit new players from high school. You have them for 1 year. They go on to college. So Kevin is experienced in putting teams together for one season.
That's the new world we're living in. There's not many Breon passes anymore that have been in the same school for 4 years and are going to graduate in 4 years.
Most teams, you're not going to see an identity until conference play unless you have a returning superstar, we'll say, like Kansas has Hunter Dickinson.
Who Middlebrooks went up against 8 days ago, battled him, you know, toe for toe, and he's had a really nice game 8 days later here against Rider.
Yeah, you need returning players, you need superstars, and then you can figure out your identity earlier rather than later.
Big block, Ben Middlebrooks on both ends. And that's the first made bucket of the night for Dontrez Styles. He's been kept quiet until that make.
Kevin Keats doing the Tom Thibodeau. He's keeping all his main players in. And the game's already over. I play for Tom Thibodeau, so I understand that.
What'd you play for him?
At Salem State, Division III. But the problem is, I wanted to get in the game. I was a walk-on, so I was really mad that he kept everyone in.
Well, 3:28 to go before the holiday break. NC State well on their way to 8-4. All right, before you know it, ACC conference play will be in full swing. Who do you have your eye on?
R.J. Davis, he's been a stud for North Carolina. Scored 27 against Florida. I was at that game. Ian Shefflin as well for Clemson. Double-figure rebounder, double-figure points, and can't talk enough about Cooper Flagg. He leads Duke in almost every category. Keep an eye on Andre Stojakovic for Cal. Second leading scorer right now in the ACC.
And you take a look at your New Year's Eve slate as ACC play really gets underway. The teams have played 1 or 2 games, but now it'll be all conference play. Doubleheader on ESPN2, doubleheader on ACC Network, and then 4 more games on ACC Network on New Year's Day.
And the one game I'm going to keep my eye on is the Wake Forest-Syracuse game, because Wake has all the makings of an NCAA tournament team. They've had some opportunities in the non-conference. They beat Michigan, which is a really nice win, but they need to get on a streak in the ACC if they're going to get a bid to the tournament, because let's face it, the ACC is not as strong a conference as it's been in the past. Can they get 3 or 4 teams in? I think if the 2, 3, 4, and 5 teams, they just wipe out the rest of those teams at the bottom, and they have great. You can't have a 500 record in the ACC this year and think you're getting into the tournament. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree with you. Now, NC State, it's very interesting. What do you do with a resume like this? They're going to be 8-0 against favorites in 2 minutes and 57 seconds when they close this one out, but 0-4 when they've been underdogs. So they've beaten everybody they're supposed to beat, but they haven't upset anybody.
Well, they're right on schedule right now. Now, they have to get, everybody has to beat Duke if you want to get into the NCAA tournament in terms of ACC teams.
That's your quad 1 opportunity.
Right, that's your quad 1. Carolina could be a quad 1. Clemson could turn into a quad 1. Maybe Pittsburgh. But there's not going to be as many opportunities for quad 1s. But there is going to be opportunity for a lot of wins. And you've got to stack up wins this year in the ACC if you want to get in.
I agree with you. I think what Kevin Keats has done a really nice job of with his schedule is you went out and you played Texas, Purdue, Kansas on the road at Allen Fieldhouse. That should, in theory, help your net, that you went out and played those teams.
Yeah, and if you win this game by 30 points, that helps your net as well. That could be a reason why Kevin has kept some of the starters in.
They kept them in until the 3:30 mark.
And you think about North Carolina, top 10 schedule in the country when you think about who they played.
Right.
I mean, they beat UCLA, which is a tremendous bounce back win for Hubert Davis and the Tar Heels. I mean, they played Florida great in the second half, but they didn't play hard in the first half. And I know Coach Davis was really down about how they played in the first half. The second half, they were phenomenal. R.J. Davis had 27. Big win against UCLA. Big bounce back win. That's going to be a resume win.
2 minutes until Christmas break begins here in Raleigh. And an early present delivered by this Wolfpack team as they close the 2024 season here at home.
Yeah, this was a great effort performance by NC State from start to finish. Like, they did not take their foot off the gas intensity-wise, and the score reflects it.
Timeout Kevin Baggett, his final timeout. As this team has gone on a 7-0 run over the last minute. That's why Kevin Keats has kept the starters in for so long. Final minute 32 here in Raleigh. Reigning ACC champions, NC State. A year 2024 that comes to a close in terms of home games here at the Lenovo Center. A banner will hang to show that ACC championship and the Final Four run to Phoenix in the year 2024.
I love when you ask Kevin Keats today about the 2024 season.
Yeah, what does the year 2024 mean to you?
And he's staring at you thinking about Ryder.
I know. He was laser focused.
And he had to get refocused to answer your question. That's how dialed in Kevin Keats was at shoot-around this morning.
Well, they came out with that intensity and left no doubt. Built a 30-point lead and kept their starters in until the 3:30 mark.
One of the bright young coaches in the college game. You know, I believed a lot in Kevin Keats before the NCAA tournament run and the ACC championship. Did a terrific job at NC Wilmington. Was an assistant for Rick Pitino at Louisville. Relatable, connects with his players. He's got a great staff. This NC State program is in tremendous hands.
Well, the highlights for the Wolfpack: 21 assists to go along with a defensive effort that really set the tone.
Now the walk-ons get a chance, and his son, KJ Keats, gets into game number 13 right there. And he's saying, Dad, it took too long to get me in. We'll discuss this during Christmas.
Yeah, he's the only one that doesn't get a break from the head coach during Christmas break.
Well, but I'll tell you what, the Keats house is going to be happy.
It'll be merry and bright. You got to give KJ a look here, right?
Yeah, the walk-on's got to touch it and shoot it. Here you go.
Right to the rim. Jordan Snell into the box score from right down the road and carry.
You got to get it back with 6 seconds. You got to get it to KJ Keats.
Deep three, nothing but the bottom of the net.
Oh, crowd wants it.
The crowd urging Keats to put it up, and the coach's son,
he knows better. He wants it, but he knows better.
Out.
You got to win with class.
Smile from Dad, and NC State improves to 8-4, and will go into the Christmas break all smiles.
Tremendous job by NC State. Well prepared for this game, both mentally and from a scouting standpoint.
For Paul Biancardi, our terrific crew behind the scenes, wishing everybody a happy holiday season. I'm Jay Alford saying so long. Let's get you to the next ACC basketball game.